Marcus Thompson had grown accustomed to solitude during his 43 years on the frontier colony world of Haven's Edge. His weathered hands moved with practiced efficiency through the morning routine, checking the atmospheric processors, tending the hydroponic gardens, maintaining the communication array that rarely carried anything more interesting than supply manifests from Earth. The war between the hegemony and the Free Worlds Alliance had raged for 17 years in the outer systems, but it had never touched his remote outpost. Marcus preferred it that way. He'd seen enough conflict during his military service to last several lifetimes. That changed the morning 11 exhausted figures appeared on his perimeter sensors. Through his viewport, Marcus watched the small group approach across the barren landscape. They moved with the careful steps of beings pushed beyond their physical limits, their varied forms hunched against Haven's Edge harsh winds. His experienced eye cataloged at least 6 different species, all clearly refugees from the ongoing conflict. The leader of the group was a tall, graceful being with iridescent skin that shifted colors with her emotional state, currently displaying the deep purples and grays of profound grief. When she activated his communication panel, her voice carried the universal translator's mechanical precision, but couldn't mask the exhaustion beneath. "Human settlement," she began formally. "I am Silandra of the Etherian people. We respectfully request sanctuary. We have nowhere else to go." Marcus stepped outside, his environmental suit protecting him from the planet's thin atmosphere. Up close, he could see the true devastation etched in their alien features. These weren't soldiers or combatants. They were civilians, survivors, and every one of them bore the unmistakable weight of recent loss. "My husband fell defending our colony," Silandra continued, her skin flickering with darker hues. "As did theirs." She gestured to her companions. "The hegemony took everything. Our homes, our families, our worlds. We managed to escape in a damaged transport that barely reached your system." Behind her, Marcus could see the others, an insected being whose mandibles trembled with suppressed grief, a crystalline entity whose normally radiant form had dimmed to barely visible levels, a gaseous being whose form barely maintained coherence. All widows. All broken by war. "We know humans have a reputation for..." Silandra paused, searching for words the translator could handle. "For kindness to those in need. But we have nothing to offer in return. No payment, no trade goods, no political advantage. Only our grief and our gratitude." Marcus looked at the group huddled before his modest settlement. His home was designed for one person, adequate for survival, but hardly luxurious. Taking in. "11 refugees would strain every system he had. Food production, water recycling, life support, sleeping quarters, everything would need to be reconfigured. It would be the logical thing to direct them to the nearest Alliance base, 2 days' travel away. They had proper refugee facilities, medical care, resources for long-term resettlement. It would be safer for everyone. Instead, Marcus did what humans had been doing for millennia when faced with others in desperate need. "Come inside," he said simply. "We'll figure out the rest as we go." 6 months later, Haven's Edge had transformed from a lonely outpost into a thriving community. The hydroponic bays had expanded threefold under Silandra's botanical expertise. The crystalline widow, Kextera, had revolutionized the energy systems. Each of the others had contributed skills and knowledge that improved life for everyone. But more than that, Marcus had gained something he hadn't realized he'd lost during his decades of solitude. A family. Not bound by blood or species, but by the simple human principle that when someone asks for help, you help them. When the war finally ended and official refugee resettlement began, none of the 11 widows chose to leave. Haven's Edge had become their home, and Marcus had learned that sometimes the greatest victories happen not on battlefields, but in the quiet moments when compassion triumphs over convenience. The galaxy's most dangerous reputation, it turned out, wasn't humanity's capacity for war. It was their inability to turn away from those in need.